Namaste, Jai Bharat. Can you please think of an option where religion has options within? Can you think of a situation where a religion has multiple options within the frame of religion without violating the frames of religion, without becoming a religious or irreligious? Just think about that for a minute. Then you would find a contradiction. Normally, people teach religion to people saying that this shall be the case, this shall not be the case. This is how one must conduct oneself, etc., etc., etc. So, in religions per se, you don't have any options. You've been told, you've been guided, and you have been threatened by a fear of punishment posthumously, and you have been enticed by providing promises of reward after posthumously, that also. And it indirectly suggests that this life is not that serious. Whatever happens here, you suffer, and then you have a better life after you die. This is the general norms, and there are no options. There are absolutely no options. But this one religion, it's translated, and when you speak in English you call it as religion, but otherwise follows its dharma. For the Hindu Dharma, you have multiple options. Can't you call it a scientific religion? You should call, when using the terminologies of modern vocabulary. We have multiple options. It's not necessary for you to have faith in any deity. It's not necessary for you to have faith in anything. It's not necessary for you to follow any given rituals. It's not necessary for you to obey anything. You have been given options are available to you. Options to try and understand things which are told in multiple manners. There are many methods of understanding the transcendental. There are many methods of understanding the transcendental. You can pick any one. And if you are not satisfied with any, you can go for something new. And if what you speak makes sense, you will find somebody following you. So there the situation where you have options within religion. You, as a Hindu, you need not to believe in God. You need not to do any rituals. You need not to follow anything. You need not to go to temples. You need not to even pray. Not necessary. All those things you do when you want to do it. When you feel like doing it. One goes to temple. No one tells you to go to temple. There are many who go and there are many who don't. There is no compulsion. A person goes to temples and prays and worships for multiple reasons and for very different reasons. He goes for some kind of search, quest, and his quest gets quenched. He comes back. What was his quest? How does it get quenched? No one knows. Only the person concerned realizes it. Normally we say he gets shanti at his mind. That's what we always pray for, shanti. It's not necessary for it to do. There are many people who do elaborate rituals at home. They sit and conduct lengthy pujas. That's his choice. His quest gets quenched that way. Somebody who doesn't bother about anything, lives a righteous life, dharmic life, his quest gets quenched that manner. Someone just performs his job meticulously, without attachment. Nishkama karma, detached action. His quest gets quenched that way. So you get your quest quenched in multiple ways, many manners. You can choose and pick. Suppose you come across many doctrines, many texts. We don't have one text. No one knows how many texts we really have. Seriously speaking, there are so many texts available for us, which provides various understandings of a quest towards the transcendental. We don't use the word God in capital letters. We use it in small letters to mean deities, and deities are not ultimate realities. So there are multiple texts, and the acharyas would teach you if you go to pathshalas, schools. Then, if you like it, you accept when you're convinced. If you're not convinced, don't accept. The Frankfurt School and critical theory comes much later, after Marxism and neo-Marxism, all those stories. Frankfurt School. Though Marx wrote the book Critique of Critical Criticism, the book's name is Holy Family or Critique of Critical Criticism. So Frankfurt School is very, very celebrated and lauded by world over academics as a critical theory. That is come recently. How about the Mimamsa philosophy in Bharat? There's no critical philosophy like the Mimamsakas. There are two kinds of Mimamsas in front of us: Purva Mimamsa and Uttara Mimamsa. Purva Mimamsa, we have two acharyas who are very popular: Prabhakar Mishra and Kumarila Bhatta, and Uttara Mimamsa of Shankaracharya and followers. All are from south. All of them are from south. Southern part. Shankara explicitly from Kerala. Prabhakar is said to be from Kerala. Though if you don't like, if you criticize, if you don't accept. If it's not convincing, you will not take it. And you will offer criticism. No one forces you to take it when you are not convinced. When you are convinced, yes. And especially in Shankara's case, he keeps quiet, he maintains silence, knowing fully well that this is meaningless, for the sake of the comfort of many others who considers that as meaningful, whatever it is. Not one instance plenty. For he himself fine, he understands. But for the sake of others, he ignores his own comfort. So this is also Mimamsa. Look at these systems of knowledge which enables a multiple freedom, infinite freedom. You see, the very concept of moksha itself is very interesting, that moksha is not granted by the help of any god, any deity, anything. Moksha is something which you earn by your own effort. No one else has any role in that. If you want to become mumukta, you try, you will become. You don't need the help of God. You don't have to do anything. We don't have that kind of serious concept of God. We don't care about concept of God. We have deities. When you feel like asking someone who is beyond you, you talk to God. Try to talk to God. You do pray, do pujas, we do anything. But these things are not necessary. Nothing is compulsory. Nothing is imposed. Nothing is necessary. Nothing is enforced. Absolute no coercion, other than your own mind's compulsion upon you. And your own mind's compulsion legitimately should come from a conviction. If that happens, then you're convinced. Then you go your way. You see, celibacy, not marrying, is an essential ingredient to priesthood in certain denominations of certain religions. One has to, especially the Catholics. Celibacy is a rule. But for us, we don't have a concept of celibacy, we have a concept of brahmacharya. These two things are too different. Celibacy just means staying away from family life. Doesn't explicitly tell you not to have sex. Simple. But not to have family and attachments. But brahmacharya is total abstainment from sex. Or any kind of such involvement, mentally, physically, whatever, or thought in the realm of thoughts. And brahmacharya is not compulsory. Brahmacharya in Bharat is a matter of option and choice. A sannyasi can afford to have more than one wife if he wants. They are called grihasthas. And sannyasi can opt also for brahmacharya. That was his choice. He need not to. There is no compulsion on him. When he wants to get married, he can get married. Or he wants to, when he wants to have relations with women who are willing, no force, then he can have. There is no compulsion. No one says this makes you great. No one says that a brahmachari sannyasi is greater than a sannyasi who has many wives. There are people with many wives. They can. These things have nothing to do with his being sannyasi. That kind of scientific thought, that's Sanskriti. That is Sanskriti. So we have multiple options. There is no compulsion. You can do whatever you feel like. So, if you want to think in terms of freedom or the most celebrated democracy, of course, undoubtedly, democracy is the best governance in the world possible, in spite of all the drawbacks of democracy, because all other systems are still worse than this. So, if the religion that is democracy, then that's Hindu Dharma. There is no other religion those as democracy. The people are, that's why they go away from religion. When compulsions and compulsoriness is more, when one has no option, he has only an option of either quit religion or accept the coercion. This one option only he has. So those who don't want to accept coercion, compulsions and rules, fear of punishment and promises of reward, toffee, he will quit religion. That's why people stay going away from religion. Otherwise, religions are necessary in a society if they function as a guiding principle of righteousness. But then, when religions become instruments in the hands of the people, like Pakistan does, they use Islam for their benefits, and I'm sure that they are least religious. They are least religious in the genuine sense of the term. They say, and those who say more don't mean it. I see this aloud. I am sure that these people are not religious. Pakistanis are not religious. Pathans, of course, I accept them as the religious people. Belows are religious people. Not Pakistani Punjabis. What they are using religion for their own end, using it as a means to achieve their ends. So, try to understand what is freedom. In your quest for transcendental, you find it only in Sanatana Dharma, the most ancient and the most scientific, the most vibrant, the one that gives you maximum option, also with an additional permission of creating your own method, of creating your own option, if you are so capable. Vedanta. There are many types of Vedanta, starting with Advaita, Shankaracharya's, many types of Vedantas. The latest Vedanta came out in 2017. And of course, I was involved in some kind of discussion at some point with the text and some studies of the text. And they all Vedantas automatically follow the guidelines of Badarayana Sutra. No one could deviate. Not that they didn't want to deviate. That was not necessary for them to deviate. They didn't feel the need of deviating. They wouldn't deviate for the sake of deviation, not required. If it was necessary, they would have easily deviated and nothing would have happened. Nobody would have questioned, nobody would think about it. So it's continuously evolving, becoming. I told you the latest Vedanta, which I personally wanted to call it as integral Vedanta, though the author has a different name. It's ever becoming, ever evolving, changing and becoming and evolving given space and time. That makes meaningful. So, this is what Sanatana Dharma is all about. And in this time, so-called modern times, it's up to you. You have an option of having options in Sanatana Dharma. It's up to you. We shall meet again with something else. Namaste. Jai Bharat. Jai Siya Ram.